Are we live? I think we're live. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 35 of live Q&A/talk security dog handler. For anyone that's new around here, this is just somewhere maybe we'll spend an hour, however long, depends how interested people are. We'll just spend an hour or so just having a chat. Anyone that wants to drop in and ask me questions, if they've got any questions about videos, about maybe getting started. I've always said I'm not a dog trainer, so don't specifically come and ask for dog training advice, but anything kind of sort of dog handler related. There will be possibly people in the chat that will be able to help as well. Chip King, hi mate, how you doing? I haven't seen you around for a while. I haven't spoke to you in a while. Hope you are well. Where are you, out and about, still working hard? Hopefully you are. I'm sure you are. But yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while, so a lot of people would know that over sort of the last this year really, I changed my shifts from, I used to have Wednesdays off, so I used to do every other Wednesday I'll do a live, but my shifts changed, partly through me because I stopped playing, I stopped training for football on a Wednesday, and I had to go 5 days. So it made much more sense for me to work on a Wednesday and not a Friday. I do miss doing these lives. I hope some people have missed doing them, and every opportunity I get, I will try and do one. So, God, what is that? So the reason that I am free tonight is that because it's near the end of the season and we needed to get some games in. I've literally just got back from playing football. We had a midweek game at a 6:30 kickoff, so I went and played football. Then got McDonald's. Got back here about 9:10. Just had my McDonald's, and now I thought I'd get in for 1:45. No, so we'll have a chat for a little bit. Sean Bartlett, all right, geezer, good to see another live. Yeah, no, so I have missed doing these and missed being able to chat to people live, being able to answer questions and get some people the answers. In the link to this video down in the description, there is a link to the Discord for anyone that wants to join the Discord, which is there for people to be able to chat, but also it's kind of like a 24/7 sort of helpline. So it might be that you're on a shift and you want to chat to some other dog handlers. There's some dog handlers in there. There's always people on shift. But if you are looking to get into security dog handling, it's a really good place to be able to ask questions. When I used to do these lives, a lot of people would ask me the questions on the live, and obviously I'd give the answer, or someone else would give the answer, or we'd give the answer as best as we could. But when it happened every other week, people were maybe waiting to ask them questions, where the Discord is somewhere where people can just type in, or it's like a chat, just say, look, guys, does anyone know any dog trainers in and around this area, or who's the best person to do NASDO in this area, etc. And you will get people that'll be able to advise and different things like that. Also, down in the description of this video is a link to the Patreon. Anyone that wants to help support anything that I do, help support the videos, different things like that. There is extra content on the Patreon, different videos that aren't on YouTube. So anyone that fancies helping support me or wants to see some extra content, then there's some videos there. They've been going up. I normally get at least a video up a month. Also, there's a different tier where you can follow Ollie's journey. So there's a video up of Ollie's journeys at the moment. So obviously he's only a puppy and we're just starting off. So that will build as we go. There's going to be another Ollie's video coming this week. And yeah, like the Patreon really helps out in terms of me being able to do different stuff, helping me be able to make the content better, even just in terms of things like buying like a little microphone for the GoPro to make sure the sound's better. I really want to try and save up to get some microphones so that when we do the podcast quality, like the voice quality is much better because we don't have that. It's something that I can't afford to kind of get myself, etc. So it will benefit the people, but there's also extra content and there's extra stuff for people if they want to help support it. So what's been going on? Someone's just messaged me. Just been informed I have my SA license active. So that's someone's just messaged me that I've been helping in terms of not preparing them, but sort of talking them through how to get through, how to go through NASDO, how to do your SIA, etc. And it's someone that wanted some advice in terms of not getting through the SIA, but what to expect, kind of how easy it is, should they be worried about certain stuff and different things like that. And that's someone that I've been messaging or has been messaging me, and I've been giving advice, and they've just said that their SIA license is now active, so they can start working. So that's really good news. So I think that's my, not my role, but I think that's how this channel has kind of evolved, is that I do help people in that way. And yes, some of it might be videos where they get some information. I know there was someone recently who watched my videos leading up to their NASDO, and they said that watching the videos in terms of maybe even the practical, maybe like the patrol, the challenges, different things like that, really helped them to understand or to work out what they needed to portray when they went through their NASDO, and they passed their NASDO, which is great news. And then I've got someone who I've been helping try and get over the nerves of doing the SIA, someone that's nervous about tests and different things like that, and just chatting to them and say, look, this is what it is. It's not the hardest thing you're ever going to do, but you just need to be, what's the best way? You just need to be calm and to not panic too much, and then the answers will come to you. Everything that you need to pass your SIA is taught to you the whole way through the 4 or 5 days or whatever it is. So as long as you're listening, taking notes, different things like that, then you should be able to let me turn my phone on. Then you should be able to pass. My boss has said that he's only had one person fail in like the 10-15 years that he's been putting people through their SIA, etc. But it does take a little bit of concentration, taking some good notes and different things like that. So yeah, that's good that recently someone's watched my videos and it's helped them pass their NASDO. And then there's also someone that I've been helping out to try and calm them down in terms of doing SIA, and they passed that as well. Although you might not think it, a lot of my videos will also help with the SIA because it's being a security guard. So a lot of this job and a lot of the stuff that you're going to do is security guard work. So even if you watch my videos for the dog stuff, you will learn stuff in there that will help with your SIA and in terms of passing that as well. I know at the start I used to do sort of SIA questions in each video and NASDO questions in each video and give the answers and that. And maybe that's something that I could do again, start doing again. But yeah, I think that's where my videos cover both. And you may be learning stuff about being a security guard for your SIA whilst you're looking at the dog stuff. So I think that's kind of become my role a little bit. It's kind of become my role, and I do enjoy being able to help people out, and I do enjoy that when someone passes their NASDO or when someone passes their SIA and they message me and say, look, I've been watching your stuff and it helped me. I've passed, I'm now out working, etc. I do get a bit of a buzz out of that. So hopefully that will continue. Like I say, in terms of like the Discord, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, anyone can message me on anywhere. And if I can help, then I will help. If not, then maybe there'll be someone else that I can speak to, that I can put you in contact with, or different things like that, and hopefully get you any help that you need. Chip King, has Terry completely retired? Not completely retired. He's still turning up to training sessions. So Paul is mainly running the training sessions. In terms that's in terms of who I pay. So Paul is like the one that's taking the training sessions, but Terry is there to kind of overlook, make sure everything's going through as it should. If Paul needs a hand, then Terry will help. So Terry will go out, and in terms of the patrol, so Terry will go out and hide, and then we'll go out and do the patrol. And that means that then Paul, who is now the trainer, can be with the handlers. So most people, like maybe like myself or the others that have been there and they've been dog handling for 2, 5, 10 years, then Paul can pretty much send us down there and let us go and do it. But maybe if there's someone that's new or anything like that, it works well that Terry can go and hide, and then Paul can go down with the handler and talk them through it, or he can watch them and then give them some constructive criticism afterwards and say, look, this is maybe where you went a bit wrong, or this is what you should have done, or you have to think about the wind. What did you think about the wind in terms of helping the dog to find someone? When the dog was in this area and he was going back and forth, what did you take from that? What do you think the dog was kind of signaling to you without telling you? So different things like that. So Terry has, I wouldn't say he's completely retired. All right. I wouldn't say Terry is completely retired, but he has taken a back step in terms of having to do all the paperwork. If Terry can't make a session, then the session still goes ahead because Paul's doing it. The little one's annoying the big one at the moment. All I can hear is all of a sudden I can see these little feet scampering out as the big one's got up and then he goes back. So yeah, like I say, he hasn't completely retired. He's still there to lean on. He's still there to lean on, ask questions, different things like that. But he's just taken a back seat of being in control of sort of having to do paperwork and all that sort of stuff, which I kind of understand, because he does enjoy the practical side of training. So he enjoys being able to do the practical side and obviously helping Paul in terms of anything that he needs. Paul's pretty decent. I'm sure you know that Paul is pretty decent, but there may be some things where he might just lean on Terry a little bit and to say, look, what are your ideas of what's happening here, or different things like that. But I completely understand that taking away having to go home and doing all of the paperwork and making sure everything's set up for the next session, etc. I can understand why you'd want to drop that. How is Ollie? Ollie is Ollie is good. He's becoming a decent all-round dog. There's a couple of tiny issues that I've got with him at the moment. One of them is that I think because my cage is so high in the van, because obviously you all know that I've got sort of the storage underneath. I think because the cage is so high, I can put him into the crate, but when it comes to bringing him out, I think he gets a little bit scared of height. So he will sit in the middle of his crate, and I'll try and encourage him out. And then when I get him and I pick him up to bring him out, he kind of puts his feet in and as if he was trying to push him off the edge of a cliff. So he gets a bit scared, but he does come out in the end. But I do also think he is playing me, because I tried to test it the other day. So when I get Ollie and I'll put him in the crate and we drive to wherever it is, I can open up the back doors. I can open up his crate. I can walk off. I can go and play with a ball on my own, or I can step well away and ask him to come. His recall's pretty good, but I can ask him to come, and he's like, I'm not jumping out of this. Now, as a test, I went to my mum and dad's, and I parked up in our normal spot, opened up the back of the van, opened up Cooper's crate, said, come on, Coop, let's go. Coop jumps out, opened up Ollie's side, and just left it open, just walked off. And I just walked off with Coop, walked into the field, and within 5 seconds, Ollie had Supermaned out of the van and into the field and was running around as happy as hell. So he is playing me a little bit. Is that if we turn up to my mum and dad's and open up the back of the van and open up the crate, he will jump out. He's not worried about height then. But when we get back to my place or when I'm at work, if I open up the crate, he will sit in the middle of it and not get too close to the edge. So that's It's not. I wouldn't say it's a massive issue. It's just maybe a little bit of confidence. Chip King says he can't hear me. Can anyone else not hear me? Let me know if anyone else is having any issues. I don't know what that is in sign language, but let me know if no one else can hear me. Type down there if you can't, or just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Is it my signal that's bad? Is anyone else having problems with the signal? Sean Bartlett, loud and clear my end. Okay. Okay. Well, Chip King, let me know if you still can't hear me or what. Sean Bartlett can hear me. Chip King, I'm looking to do my NASDO level 3. Now that's interesting. So a lot of people have asked me what the difference is. Chip King just come back now. So Chip King's thinking about doing level 3. A lot of people have asked me what the difference is in doing level 2 or level 3, because entry level is level 2. I'm not sure what level 1 used to be. Maybe level 1 was like the old standard, and then they decided to drop that and make level 2 the standard. So lots of people have asked me before, like, what's the difference between being a level 2 and a level 3 dog handler? In terms of general day-to-day basic security dog handling, it won't make a big difference. Now, there are people that will maybe want to do it to push them towards something, because I think that's something that level 3 is there for people to push themselves towards. So you'll get to a certain level, and then when you pass your NASDO level 2, what a lot of people do is they go, right, past level 2, my dog and me are exactly where we need to be, and then they kind of stop training. So there are people that maybe want to push towards level 3. The only thing that stopped me maybe pushing towards and doing level 3 is that it is another cost. It's like doing another NASDO. So I'm not 100% sure on the kind of prices, etc. But it might be like another 500, 800, £1,000 or whatever it is. I think you have to do more hours. I think you have to do maybe like 120. Don't quote me on that. But you have to do more than 60 hours. So you have to do like extra training. It's another expense in order to get to level 3. And in my day-to-day, week-to-week working, will level 3 get me any different jobs? Not particularly. Not anything that I'm really interested in. Now, if you turn around to me and said, well, if you become level 3, then you can go and work at maybe like Wembley Stadium or the O2 or different things like that, maybe that would push me or push others more to become level 3. As far as I'm aware and to my knowledge, you can work them places on level 2, and you can work alongside level 3. So then I think the way in which we do it at training is that no one really pushes towards becoming a level 3 dog handler, but that doesn't mean that you can't train that stuff. It doesn't mean that you can't go to training and teach and do tracking or different things like that. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I know you do like tracking becomes level 3. Well, there's nothing that says if you're a level 2 dog handler that you can't do tracking in your CT training, or you can train to do that without ever going for level 3. So yeah, it's interesting, but people have asked me whether becoming a level 3 dog handler will open up more doors or different things like that. And to my knowledge, I don't think it does on your day-to-day, week-to-week basis. If there ever becomes a time when that happens, then maybe more people will push towards become level 3. But I think a lot of people are quite happy being level 2 and the work that gives you and continuing your training. And like I say, there's nothing that stops you from doing level 3 training whilst you're a level 2 dog handler. There's nothing that says, well, if you're not going to become level 3, you can't do tracking training. You can still do that. Chip King, I'm going to be doing it with my youngest shepherd, Rocky, 100 hours. So 100 hours. So everyone, well, a lot of people will know that in order to get NASDO level 3, you have to do 60 learning hours, and then you do your You can do your practical and your theory tests. So the practical side with the dog, and then obviously the theory side of what are you eating, and the theory side of the 240 question tests. But with the level 3, you have to do 100 hours. So quote me if I'm wrong. That means that will be another 100 hours on top of the 60. So I don't believe that your next one will be 65, for example. You'll start down at 0. That'll be 5. Next session will be 10, etc., etc. I'm just doing it for myself and my dog, not for any extra money or any other benefit. Yeah, and I think that's the other thing as well, is that becoming a level 3 dog handler doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be earning £15 an hour instead of £12 an hour or anything like that. So just because you push yourself to become a level 3 dog handler, don't think that that's going to earn you more money per hour. The monetary is still going to be roughly similar. I mean, you possibly, as a level 3 dog handler within the company, you might be a little bit more respected, or you might get the better jobs, but I think in your day-to-day, you're not going to see a massive pay increase for the extra money that you shelled out in order to get to level 3. Is level 3 the highest qualification? I don't think it is. I don't believe it is. I feel like there is another level. I've got a feeling there's a level 4. Let's do level 4. I've just put in NASDO level 4. There is something, and it's on the NASDO website. Could that be? That might be drugs or bombs. No, level 4 certificates for detection dog handler. That will be explosive level 4. That's of course level 3 general purpose. Maybe general 3 is maybe it's general 4 that I've seen is more of the detection side. Yeah, so looking at this is from Metropolitan Specialist Limited, K9. You get level 2 security dog. You get level 3 security dog. You get level 3 detection dog, level 4 detection dog, search and rescue. Yeah, so level 3 seems to be the highest. Level 4 teaches your dog how to make tea and coffee for you. So it looks like level 3 is as far as you go in terms of general purpose, but then you can go level 4 for detection. And then there's a separate one here for search and rescue. Other NASDO level 3 certificate for fire investigation detection handler, NASDO level 3 certificate for bed bug detection dog handler. So yeah, looks like level 3 is as far as you go with GP, but you can go as far as level 4 with detection by the looks of this. And if you do go to level 4 GP, it sounds like it teaches your dog how to make tea and coffee, which I think for a lot of dog handlers wouldn't work for me, but for a lot of dog handlers that would work out quite well. In terms of recent videos, now if I'd done every video since my last live, then we'll be here forever. So we'll just go back. I'll just go back on the last sort of few. So you got my Bluetti video, which was the one that came out last Saturday. I was quite happy with the way in which that video came out. Maybe the only thing that I maybe left out was that with the Bluetti, I said about that there's a running cost, obviously, if you're charging it up at home, different things like that. But then what I should have said really is that also with the Bluetti, if you're traveling an hour, 2 hours to work, etc., you can, because it's got the 12-volt adapter in it, that you can plug it into the car or the van whilst you're driving. So you can cut down on charging it at home by charging it to and from work. And like I say, I know that car batteries and different things like that, or the cars don't charge stuff as quickly as they do at home. But maybe if you're driving a couple of hours each way, then that will be enough charge to maybe get you through to top it up or whatever, different things like that. Like I said, since I've been using that Bluetti in sort of a general, on like a general week-to-week basis, if I'm just using that to charge like my phones, my torch, different things throughout the shift and different things like that, I can get maybe a bar per week. So it'll probably last me for definitely 4 weeks, possibly 5 weeks. If I'm using my electric blanket, anything with heat seems to use quite a lot of watts. So having something like an electric blanket, although it's, like I say, it's not going to heat the van up to the point where you can sit there in your shorts and t-shirt, having something like an electric blanket will keep you warm enough for a shift. And like I said, if you get the same size Bluetti that I've got, roughly over an 8-hour period, you can use 60 to 80% of the battery. So if you wanted it for a bit longer, you could, or whatever, different things like that. But I think the Bluetti is a good option for people that have cars that aren't going to install their own Chinese diesel heater. That's the word. So for people that are in cars that aren't going to have a Chinese diesel heater, different things like that, just something that you can be able to keep yourself warm, have some power on sites where you've got nothing you can plug into. If I go to another site and it's winter and it's possible for me to run my extension lead in and have my heater, then yes, I'm going to do that, because it will keep the whole van, a little bit warmer. But in terms of having no power on site and being able to go everywhere and feeling comfortable that no matter what happens, I'm going to be able to stay warm, has been a great benefit, because I was worried, and that's why I got it just before the snow, because I saw that the snow was coming in and I knew that I was going to get caught on site on 12-hour shifts in the snow with nothing to keep me warm, different things like that. Yes, you can turn your van on, but a lot of these new ones with the DPF, you can start clogging your DPF and causing problems for your van, etc. So it's been good. I've really enjoyed it, and like I say, now I feel comfortable that no matter where I'm put, I can get through 12-15 hour shift, and I'll be able to get through that with the blanket and have power and not be worried about my phone running out of battery, different things like that. And like I say, I think for something that's going to last as well, because in that video, 2,500 life cycles is every day for 7 years. So even if I use it pretty regularly and I'm charging it pretty regularly and running it all the way down, I still think that I'm going to get 10 to 12 years before the battery dips below 80%. So in the video, I do explain that, like, as I think a lot of people understand with batteries, the same way phones. So when you first get your phone, it might last like 2 days before you need to charge it. But the longer it goes on, you start only getting maybe 3/4 of a day out of your phone, or half a day out of your phone, because the battery, once you go all the way down and then you charge it back up, after a certain point, it never gets back to 100%. It might say 100% on your phone, but that's 100% of the capacity of live battery, which might only be 85%. So I think even if I use mine pretty constantly and I use it and I drain it all the way down and power it back up all the way up, I'm still going to get maybe 10 to 12 years before the battery dips below 80%. So I feel like it's a good investment. I feel like it's an investment. I know it's a lot of money. It's £700, the one that I've got. I know it's a lot of money as a one-off starting price, but when you think that it could last me 10 to 12 years before it dips below 80%, I can now go anywhere I want and have power. Even if I want to go to the beach, even if I want to go for a picnic with the fiance, even if we go somewhere and we just park up, I know that I've got power to the van now, or the car. I can just pick it up and put it in the car. I think that's one of the other great things about it, is that I can just take it out of the van and put it in the car, and we'll just go with the car. If we're going we drive to Scotland every now and then to go and see our brother, and if we take one of the dogs, we normally drive up. To know that we've got, obviously I know the car has got power, but to know that if we was driving up to Scotland, I've got a power bank that's got 4 weeks worth of phone charging in it. We know that we have power all the way up there. We know that we can power different things as well. It's not just a case of like, oh, we've only got USB chargers. We've got USB, we've got 12 volt, we've got AC, we've got DC. So we've got loads of different options as well. So I feel like that's a decent option for people that have cars and do this job, or someone that doesn't want to install a diesel heater and put a hole in their van for an exhaust, different things like that. But yeah, I was really happy with how that video come out. To be fair, I feel like it come out really well. Chip Kim, can you get solar panels for those chargers so they can also charge it up outside? Yes. So with Bluetti, I think they're about. I think they start from about 300 and something pounds. I think the decent ones are maybe, well, I'll say decent, the higher wattage ones or whatever it is, are around about 500 quid. And yes, they do have solar panels. So you can plug the solar panels to the Bluetti, and then obviously the solar panels will charge the unit up. Now that is good for maybe someone like yourself. I know that someone like yourself who does day shifts and night shifts, is that you can put it out during the day and it will charge it back up ready for the cooler evenings. For someone like me who only works nights, I'm not going to leave my £700 Bluetti and £500 solar panels just sitting out on my balcony in order to charge it. So I did say that it is something that having the solar panels is good if you're going to work day shifts, but obviously if you're working nights all the time, back to back, it's obviously not that great for me because I'm asleep whenever the sun's out. So it doesn't really make much sense for me to have it. But for someone like yourself, if you was working days and nights, then like I say, during the day you could have it out and it could charge the unit up whilst before the cooler evening. So yeah, you do have that solar panel, but like I say again, it is a hefty, if you want to say a hefty payout to start off with. Let's say £500. It's quite a hefty payout, but then that does mean that no matter where you go, you will be able to charge your Bluetti up, as long as obviously you've got some sunshine and different things like that. So there are ways around it. I did say, like with the Chinese diesel heaters, I know lots of people have them, and yes, they are good if you want to. I know lots of people want to run kettles and microwaves and God knows what else. They want to run all these high wattage things, which, okay, the Bluetti isn't going to be able to do a lot of the high wattage stuff. But the thing is with diesel heaters is obviously you've got the constant cost of keep buying diesel, and I understand that the Chinese diesel heater might be, I'm not saying it is, it might be a cheaper install to start off with. I think a lot of people look at the install price and say, right, well, this is a lot cheaper, so I'm going to do this. So in terms of like the Chinese diesel heater, yes, it might be a cheaper install, but then you've got the constant price of diesel all the time in order to keep it up. I'm not sure how often people have to keep buying diesel on that, but they have the constant, like probably five here, 10 there, 15 quid there of diesel to obviously power the diesel heater. And if you sell that van, do you rip the whole lot out in order to put into another van, or do you need to take into consideration that your next van you're going to have to pay out for another Chinese diesel heater and get that installed and different things like that? And if you take the one out of your van to install in the next one, well, now you've got a big exhaust hole in the van. So now you're selling a van to someone with a big hole in the bottom of it that was used as an exhaust fan. So, like I say, I think a lot of people will prefer the Chinese diesel heaters, and I can understand that, and I can see why maybe they do prefer that. But in terms of me, someone who just wants some ease, someone that doesn't want anything too complicated, be able to take anywhere, user friendly, different things like that, I think the Bluetti is a decent option. I know there's lots of people that have messaged me over the years, and people that I've spoken to, and they're in November, December, it's -2, -3, and they're sitting in a car park, absolutely frozen, can't feel their fingers, can't feel their toes, because they don't have any power options. They don't feel like they have any power options. So being able to put that out there and say, look, this is an option. Yes, it might feel expensive, but it's going to stop you from freezing on site, or it's going to stop you from your not being able to work properly. Because if you're that cold where you can't feel your fingers, can't feel your toes, you're not going to be very active. You're not going to be very reactive. So I think giving someone the option to say, look, this is an option. Yes, it's a lot of money. You might think it's a lot of money, but this is an option. A lot of people may not have even looked down that avenue. Oh. These straws, these McDonald's paper straws, are absolutely useless. Like whenever I get them for Cokes and that, they're all right. But you get a chocolate milkshake with these new paper straws, it is hopeless. So has anyone got any questions that they looking for an answer for, or anything like that? So obviously you got the Bluetti video that was last Saturday. Chiropractor video. So I've been going to a chiropractor for best part of sort of 10, 15 years. It did come across to me to maybe ask him some questions about being in a van for long times, being in certain positions for long times, and maybe in terms of like the force of the dog, how that can maybe affect you in terms of like your bones, your joints, and different things like that. And although that chiropractor video might not be for everyone, I feel like there is going to be something in there that's going to help some people. UK Security 101. Hey, what did I miss? You have missed 36 minutes and 47 seconds of absolute gripping live security dog handler Q&A/talk. I was just talking about the Bluetti. We was talking about my trainer. I can't really remember. You have to go back and watch. My brain works with, it goes in, it comes out here, and then it goes out that end. So I can't even remember what I was talking about 10 minutes ago. You have to go back and watch. But yeah, I was talking about Bluetti. So you got the chiropractor. You've got the He Was Here video. Now, the He Was Here video is a patrol video. And I always find it interesting, like whenever I put patrol videos up and different things like that, to a lot of people, it will just look like the same thing. And the He Was Here video is very much the same as every other patrol, but there's always little differences. Now, in terms of the He Was Here video, it was about the dog finding the track and the scent of where that person was, and then realizing, hold on, he's not here anymore. Oh, he's gone in this direction. Now, for a lot of people that are looking at this, and a lot of people that are maybe not done a lot of patrol training, or not patrolled a lot of dogs, or haven't patrolled their dog a lot, they would just look at that as the dog is over here, and like, no, he's over there. But why has he gone over there? And I think that He Was Here video is quite good to explain what the dog was doing at the time. Is that, okay, we've tracked to this area. Now, obviously, with my trainer and my knowledge of the trainer telling me, right, well, I was over there, it obviously makes it easier for me. But by knowing that, I can look at the video and say, well, yeah, well, the dog tracked to where the trainer was and the other dogs have been, before realizing, hold on, he's not here, and then getting onto another scent, and then obviously tracking over. But then the scent of it coming over the barrel, why did the dog jump and put his front paws up on the ledge and look over the barrel? Well, a lot of people that maybe not have patrolled a lot of dogs and things like that, they won't understand, well, why has the dog done that? And if my dog does that, what does that mean? And I think by only explaining it and people being able to watch it, only then will they be able to understand. Why are you? Oh, you. Hold on. No. What is all this? Sorry. But only by someone explaining it and saying, well, yeah, the dog looked over that barrel because the wind pushes the scent up and over the barrel. That's why the dog jumped up on the ledge and looked over. So I think just by explaining that, and like I say, a lot of sort of patrol videos, what are you doing? A lot of patrol videos and that, they may look very similar, but once you look into it a little bit deeper, there are always little differences. What are you doing? Come here then. Come here. Look what you've done to him. What did you do to him? No. Look what you did. Look, there's his eye. There's another bit of his head. That's the other eye. Look, I buy all these nice toys. Actually, I think this was Coop's. I buy you got all these nice toys and then you go and ruin them. No, leave the chocolate milkshake. No. Right, go and find another toy. Go and find your brother. Where's your brother? Yeah, so although that every patrol video might look very similar, and I think if you just play them back to back and you're not too sure about what's going on, I think a lot of people will just assume that the dog is doing the same thing every time. The dog is not doing the same thing every time, and that's what I was saying in that video as well, is that you see the difference between the dog with his nose to the ground and he's tracking scent across the floor. But then all of a sudden, when it comes to where the barrel is, you can see that he starts air scenting, and then he puts his front paws up and he looks over the barrel. Well, if he's scenting on the floor, he's not going to put his paws up on the ledge and look over because all the scent would be on the floor. So he's obviously started to do air scenting because that's where the scent is coming from. And then obviously in that video, you see that the trainer is just the other side of that barrel. So the only way that scent can be coming from where the trainer is to where the dog is, it has to be being pushed up over the barrel, and you only know that because that's where the dog looks. So I think that is important for people to understand as well, is that if that happens to you, if your dog starts looking over ledges or your dog starts putting his paws up on ledges and looking over in a certain direction, be prepared that there might be someone just the other side of the ledge. Like the trainer could have been literally the other side of that ledge, but because I know that when my dog does that and he looks over, I get the idea of, okay, well, someone must be there. That's the way in which you improve. I feel you improve as a handler, being able to read your dog and read what that means in another circumstance. So I didn't know where the trainer was in this scenario, but as soon as my dog done that, I had a pretty good idea, and that's when I clocked where the trainer was. So being able to read your dog is where you start becoming not more advanced. I don't want to blow smoke up my own arse, but that's where you improve as a handler, being able to pick up on what your dog's doing and going, okay, this is what's going on. And the dog almost paints you a picture before you even see it. And only by watching the dog and understanding why the dog is doing certain things can you start painting that picture in your head so that you're prepared or you're ready for what possibly might be about to happen. So yeah, I think that He Was Here video is a decent one to watch, and it's one to, if you are going to be doing your NASDO or you're coming up to your practical and different things like that, just watching and understanding that kind of stuff. And I understand that, look, my dog does that, but someone else's dog is not going to. I understand that every dog is going to do something differently, but the next dog that you use in your NASDO or whatever it is, there's a good chance that he might do that. So if he does do that, think, okay, well, that must mean that there's some scent coming from this direction. Well, why would that be happening? Because the wind must be coming and pushing it. So there's a good chance that there's going to be someone in that direction. Okay, what is there in that direction for them to be hiding behind? Well, there's a big water barrel. That's a logical place for someone to try and hide. Therefore, you get a bit of a picture in your head so that when you walk round, you maybe not walk too close to that water barrel because you think that there's going to be someone there. So you don't walk too close to that water barrel. And if they're not there, then you look ahead and say, right, what's next that's logical for them to hide behind, or what is the dog telling me now? Different things like that. So I crave violence. Look at this. Look at the violence. There has been a few toys we've had to throw away because Ollie chose violence. He woke up and he chose violence. Look, loads of it. You didn't eat any of that, did you? I'm not going to find that when we go for walkies later, are we? Or am I? I am going to, aren't I? So yeah, what are we at? We're at 45 minutes. Has anyone got any last few things they want to talk about? Like I say, the reason that I'm doing a live tonight is A, the fiance's away, and B, I had football. So I will do these lives as often as I can. The only thing is that obviously trying to balance the YouTube work, social or like home life, is that I only get to spend 2 evenings with your fiance, which is Friday and Saturdays. So it's not fair on me to disappear to go and do a live for an hour and different things like that. So it is a bit of a juggling act, and I will do lives as much as I can and whenever I get some free time and I haven't got a pestering little doggy. Whenever I can, I'll do some more. And like I say, I think that people asking questions and talking about different things, I think that's one of the things I like about these lives, is that I don't really come here with a plan. I might think, all right, well, I'll talk about some videos I've done and different things like that, but I don't really come here with a plan. And obviously people come into these lives and they ask questions, and then we go off on different tangents. And at McDonald's. And look, I've always said, look, I'm not the most experienced handler. I've been doing this for 2 and a bit years, so I don't know everything. I've asked lots of questions to feel like I've got some knowledge, and there are certain things that maybe I know some stuff about, but I do rely on obviously some other people. Look, this is somewhere just to come and have a chat, and I think I'm good enough definitely to help people that are starting off. Now, if you come to me and say my dog won't out, that's not where I'm going to give advice. But if you come to me and say, look, I live in Norwich, what do I need to do in order to get into dog handling? That's where I'm going to excel, and that's where I'm going to be able to help. But I feel like I do hold my own in terms of when people bring up stuff in the lives and that I do feel like I hold my own in being able to chat about stuff. I'm never going to say that I know everything. I'm never going to be 100% right, but I think that only by asking questions, the only reason I feel like I've got to this stage, the only reason I got to this stage was being able to ask questions. Now, Chip King probably would know, and other people that was with me around when I first started, and even now, like even when I go to training, if I don't understand something, I'll always ask a question, and I'd always rather be that guy that asks a question that everyone else is thinking but not answer it, but not asking. So I've always got to that, and that's the one thing I do say. If you are going to be coming into security dog handling and you want to get information, you just have to ask questions, no matter how stupid it is, no matter what the question is, just ask it. And like I say, I think that's where maybe I accelerated my knowledge into what I do now, is by asking loads of questions and asking the dumb questions. And even if you ask a dumb question that gets a dumb answer, it might start off another conversation where you might learn something else. So I think that's my biggest bit of advice. And even the SIA, if you're going to do your SIA badge and things like that, is if you are there, just ask questions in that as well. Like, what you're there for the 4 or 5 days, there's no rush. Like you haven't got to be in and out of there in a day. You're there for 4 or 5 days, etc. So if you have a question in your SIA and the teacher's standing in front of you, why ask it there? I've always said to people, like, yeah, if you have a question and I do a live, or you want to message me on socials or whatever it is on the Discord, if you have a question and you want to come and ask it, but if you've got a NASDU trainer standing bang in front of you, don't not ask them and then come and ask me, because I'm not a NASDO trainer. If you've got someone in front of you with a qualification or with experience, ask the question there and then. Don't save it to come and ask me, because I may not know the answer, and then you've lost the opportunity that you had to ask someone that probably would know the answer to it. Chip King, when are you getting married? I'm getting married in May next year, May 2024. I will be getting married. Yeah, I've got a lot of saving to do. We've booked the honeymoon, which is going to be a 2-week cruise. I don't know if anyone's ever been on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise. We wanted to maybe do something a little bit different. We was looking at going to Greece for honeymoon, and like a lot of the hotels and that, like if you wanted like a decent stay, they was looking at like $4,000 to $5,000 just for the hotel and different things like that. So I wasn't getting very excited about them. So we've decided to go and do something new. We decided to go on a cruise, which will be July 2024. But yeah, so we're excited about that. But there's lots of saving, lots of money that I need to save and different things like that. And like, I think that's going to be. It's going to be difficult, because I do want to try and improve the channel and different things like that. But my money is a lot tied up with wedding, different things like that. But yeah, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. The missus is actually back home in Bulgaria at the moment, speaking to someone about the dress. So she's getting her dress made by possibly her best friend's mum, who makes dresses. So she's there for this week, talking wedding dress stuff and seeing her friend for her friend's 30th birthday as well. So we have got a boys' week this week, which hasn't started off too great, because it absolutely smashed it down with rain last night. I think we had probably, well, the roads were flooding, and it had only been raining for 2 hours, so we got a lot of water. I'm sure a lot of people in the southeast probably got it as well. But yeah, we've got a boys' week this week. Got to work next few nights, and then got Saturday off because I've got football again. And then we're back to work, and then we'll be working bank holiday. That's one of the good things about this month. So I think we've already had the Easter weekend, haven't we? So that was like 2 bank holidays. The first is a bank holiday, but because my shift starts on the 30th or the 31st, whatever it is, and goes into the first, I get paid for the bank holiday, the May bank holiday, in this pay packet. So got 3 lots of bank holiday double pay coming in, which is going to be nice, which is going to help with the wedding fund. Are we all invited to the wedding? Absolutely not. I am not paying for you lot to have a meal. You can feed yourselves. But yeah, so like I say, the bank holiday is going to be good, and I think we've got what we got, because I won't have the first one because that'll be in this month's pay packet. So I've probably still got two bank holidays next month. Then we have like got the one for the coronation, and then we've got the one for the end of May as well, because there's the one that start of May and end of May. So yeah, everything's looking up. What are we at? We are at 53, 36, 37. That seems to be about it. Thank you all for joining this live Q&A. It is coming up to 20 to 11. So I'm now going to chill out with the dogs for a little bit before we go for our last walks and then get ourselves to bed. I want to thank everyone that's popped into this live, that's asked questions, that's had a chat. Hopefully you learned something out of it. I know that I waffled on quite a bit during parts of it, but hopefully there was something in there for that's helped a person. If these lives just help one person, I feel like I'm doing some sort of charity thing. If this live has helped one person, then it's made it all worth it. But yeah, thank you all, guys. I will try and do a live at my next opportunity. Hopefully it will be soon, but I can't guarantee anything. But yeah, hope you all have a good week. And there will be a video out this Saturday. If you're on the Patreon, Ollie video will be out this week as well. So you'll get another video if you're doing the Patreon on Ollie's tier. But yeah, as for now, thanks all for watching. Hope you have a good week. I'll see you again next time. Just watching. See you later.